Hey everybody, welcome to Ask the Anabolic Doc, starring Dr. Thomas O'Connor, brought to you by his book, America on Steroids, A Time to Heal, and by his website, Testosteronology. This is a new branch of medicine that the doctor pioneered specifically for men. You can find out all about it by visiting that website, testosterone, cut the E off the end and put ology, O-L-O-G-Y. You can find out all about what the heck this testosteronology stuff is. And now, from the great state of Connecticut, please welcome Dr. Thomas O'Connor. How are you, doctor?
Thank you very much, Ron. How are you today?
Doing great. So how'd your mountain biking in Vermont go a couple weeks back?
Oh, God. Awesome. I got the new e-bike. When I cruise by guys on the e-bike, I say, don't hate the e-bike.
What's an e-bike?
Electric bike, battery. It's really unbelievable.
What? Wait, you don't have to...
Look, I'm an old mountain biker. I still smash up stuff to smash down. And I bought it because I was like, it's all about fun. So I'm not going to be hurting anyone out there, but I could see guys cranking on this thing and going the wrong way and just getting too much power. It's not a motorbike that you hit a throttle and it spins and you could chew the trail up. It's not like a motocross bike, but it's fun though. It's so fun, but I still got to force myself to ride the other bike.
So the e-bike, you don't pedal, right?
No, you pedal, but it's pedal assist. So when you pedal, there's three modes. There's eco, trail, and then there's the boost mode. I call it the beast mode. And when you pedal it, it goes and it goes forward. And you crank up over. I'm cranking up stuff that's like usually, because I mean, the small guys are 150, 100, even some of the heavier. Some of these mountain bikers are so incredibly in great shape. They just climb up stuff like a billy goat. And it's so fun. And that's the challenge to mountain biking, real aggressive, like really hardcore mountain biking. It's interval training, man. You'll get shredded. It's just unreal. And you don't think you're training. So it's fun to jump. And obviously it's gnarly. It could be super hairy. It's adrenaline-y. But this bike allows you to just crank up. And, but I understand there's some guys that don't want it too much of it out there. Because in Vermont, Vermont's like the place in the Northeast. I know there's Connecticut, Massachusetts, but Vermont is like mountain bike dreamland. It's got gnarly shit, drops, roots. It's just like you go up there and you just get away from it all, buddy. You just get away from everything.
So this is the Green Mountains that you were biking in?
Yeah. And I'm an old power lifter. So, some of us find mountain biking, it's a very adrenaline-y. And when you're out there on the trail, regardless of your stress or what you're thinking of, you're focused on not crashing, so you don't think of anything. Even the gym, isn't it true? Like the gym, you go in the gym and you can train, but if you're really thinking about something, that's going to prevail, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So you can't bench big. You can't, even though some guys do, and then you try to I'm going to train hard and put my energy. I one time curled in the end 205 pounds for a triple. And I came down and I tore the whole bicep off the bone. And I was so pissed off. I was like, I'm mad at this person. And when you do that, that's bad. That's why you get hurt. But when you're on a mountain bike and you're like, okay, forget about this stress in life. And then you're just mountain biking. Next thing you know, you're out there and you're cruising through the woods and you're just trying not to crash. And next thing you know, you're done and you go, I didn't think about anything.
I tell you, 10 more years of you talking to me about mountain biking, I might try it.
I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you out. That's an e-bikers for you.
Okay, well, if I don't have to pedal, that's fine. I'm going to get one that I don't have to do anything. Just go, well, that would be a motorbike. So I didn't give you any warning as to the topic today because I like surprising you. And you talked about this. You did a video, I think it was last week for GI, talking about gurus in bodybuilding. And we'll hit on some of the same subjects, but I wanted to actually do a devil's advocate position about gurus in bodybuilding. Do they belong or not? And I want to take the position that they do belong. There is a place. We do need gurus in bodybuilding.
Okay.
But first of all, briefly summarize for the viewers why you feel these gurus are dangerous.
Well, I didn't see, I guess I'm so busy now. I know I'm in Generation Iron Part 4. I guess I'm in that because I saw one of the clips of the Natty for Life. There's parts of me in that. Is that right?
Well, this might have been like a little excerpt from that, where you were specifically talking to Vlad about gurus and how they're practicing medicine without a license, basically.
Okay. So, but I've said it before, and I talk regularly. So, okay. So, gurus.
Yeah.
Gurus are, apart from gurus I know that are in the Middle East, and real gurus, Indian gurus. So I respect those gurus, and I'm respecting. We're going to have a good talk. So anabolic steroids from the 1960s and 70s and 80s have come since that time. Back in the day, before the internet and before the gurus that are making all this money, and I don't know how much money they make, but with all the advice, remember, Ron, we're about the same age. You had to train hard. You had to be in the gym. You couldn't just come in the gym as a little punk and just get on steroids before ever going to the gym, right?
Yeah. Right.
So I think we're gonna agree. I'm just thinking of my tact of how I'm gonna get into your brain here. So it's like, with that, you had to train hard. You had to show up and really, really, really put effort in for years. Mm-hmm. And then maybe you're 25 or 23. I know your story, and you and I have the same story. And then if you're gifted and you're still there and you really want it, you're really there, you go the extra mile, because we took a little Anavar, a little D-ball. Come on, we're not going to joke about it though. Anadrol, and sooner or later, DECA. Come on, Ron. You and I. Millions of guys who start off, and again, I say this way, and there was pro bodybuilders have told me this from back in the day. You were tapped. You were tapped on the show. It was like a brotherhood. You agree? Okay. So then of course those guys. It was a show. We're not jumping to right now yet. I'm working up.
Yeah.
I never answer questions easily, but whoever doesn't like it can go fuck off.
We're still in we're in about 1985 or 86 at this point.
Perfect. So you're being tapped. You're probably not in the gym with steroid use, despite the stories of all the needles on the floor. I know there are needles on the ground. I've seen the needles. You and I have seen the needles. We've been around for 30 years, right? So what you end up hanging out with that buddy that night. Maybe I was a bouncer, so I was in the club where everyone's on steroids, right? Bouncers up Syracuse University, up at SU in the 80s. And it was a brotherhood. And then you're hanging out, hey, man, why don't you come on over, man? Come on over Saturday morning before we go to the gym, and let's have breakfast. Let's go to a diner, right? And then the guy, you go to his room. Maybe we're in our 20s at that point, maybe guys 30s, older. You go in the room, and then the guy in his house and he shows you, this is Sustanon 250. This is like some DECA, some Anavar, some Winstrol, Anavar, Winstrol for me, whatever little stuff, starting DECA and Sustanon. And it's like, it was like, oh my God.
Yeah, it was like Disneyland.
No, but this is like, but Ron, I'm getting into your head.
Yeah.
You're gonna see how I'm doing this.
Okay.
So, and I wasn't prepared for this. So thank you. I'm just making it up as I go, but it's going to be fun.
That's the best way.
So you're in the room. It's 1985. You're in the room, and your buddy, this guy's jacked. He's already on steroids. This guy's on steroids. So he's kind of a guru. Kind of a guru. Okay. So, and then he was, for me, and I'm going to maybe agree with you. For that guy, he was very cautious. I think he was like, hey, man, this is no joke. But you know what, man? Maybe we could start you off, because this is what I did. And like, I could hook you up with this, because there were illegal drugs at that time, I assume. Yeah. We're not going to go into Ronnie and go to see this doctor. That happened. But for me and you, and for the tens and thousands, only, thousands, or for the underground that it was back in the 80s, no one gave a shit about us. It was, and we're not professional athletes, although professional athletes were using tons of steroids.
Of course.
Because there was no drug. We're not even into the 90s, where the federal government came in and made it a controlled drug. I'm still in 1985. Right. So that was a guru, I guess. And that was like, he showed you the way. Then you trained in the gym and was freaking, whoo, what a high. Yeah, buddy. So now let's go. Let's move up into the 90s. Now, there was no internet yet. 90s.
Right.
2000. Let's go right for the sake of me doing my crazy stuff for the guys. for the haters. You were now today. Internet is cranked. This thing is cranked, right? That's Victor, by the way, but that's not cranked. That's Victor. There's Instagram, there's YouTube. Obviously, I have a huge YouTube following, and there is so much social media. Things are like that. You want an answer to something? It's so now. Where are we with that? Because of that, and steroids are obviously incredibly powerful, and it's great to train hard and be beastie and beast mode and strong. Steroids work, SARMs, all these drugs. So you don't, if you're a young guy and you haven't been tapped, you're not going to get tapped. Why would you wait? You want this. So there's going to be a guru that now you see my side. There's going to be a guy that's made a business of it.
Yeah.
He's made a business of it. And and do you think he cares about that boy, that young man?
Probably not.
Come on, Ron.
Well,
come on.
He cares about that young man's PayPal or what's the other
money.
Venmo or money.
It's about money. And then he's going to tell, and there are some gurus that go way back, and we're not going to say the names, but I've received hundreds of patients from the damage of this one person alone.
Wow.
Yep, hundreds. I've seen 5,000 patients at this point.
I know. I just didn't know there would be that many from one guy.
Hundreds.
Oh boy.
Hundreds. It's the same cycle. It's the same huge. And is it shame on these men for doing it, or are they lemmings going into the sea? And is it a high? Is it body dysmorphic? Is it, hey man, he did it. She's doing it. He's doing it. Mainly he. These are mainly men because the drug usage is very large. This ain't a little Anavar. It's not a little Primo or little baby doses of EQ that women take. Okay. Right. I know this stuff. So the guru is going to crank you now on fucking SARMs, every drug, every permutation, combination, insulin, growth, whatever you, a la carte Chinese menu. Sorry to say Chinese.
Chinese food is a real thing. It's not racist to talk about Chinese food.
Thank you. I wasn't sure. I want to check in with you on that. I don't want to offend anyone. Chinese menu, the wonton soup, the egg roll. I want the chicken chow mein. You get and then you pay money, and then these fuckers they're showing the fake wealth on their boom, and they're driving, and these guys are going to be dead. They're going to be in jail, and they're scumbags because they have bad karma. Now, Ron,
yes,
I disagree with pumping drugs into any guy that can pay for it because you're his fucking guru coach. Am I done? I don't know. We can start.
So now I get the podium now. This is like a debate. So here's my view. Here's my take on it. These coaches, gurus, whatever you want to call them, typically they're called into play for contest prep. The prep coach is like another catch-all term for what these people do. And here's my thing is the look that is demanded now, the standard, the way you need to look requires a cornucopia of a polypharmacy, steroids, GH, insulin, IGF-1, clenbuterol, T3, T4, DNP, anti-estrogens, aromatase inhibitors, on and on and on. It's such a wide variety of drugs. You would have to be very, very well versed. It would take you a great deal of research to know how to properly use these compounds to achieve the look that you're trying to get to win a contest. I'm not going to talk about organizations or anything, but if a show is it's not drug tested, which that's the realm I deal in, is non-tested shows, it's anything goes. There's no testing. And genetics are always going to be prominent. They're always going to be key. But that being said, if everyone's got great genetics, you can say, well, the guy that trains harder, the guy that wants it more, that's also a factor. But who's got the better chemic? Who's got the better drugs? Who's using them in the best way possible? I don't know how. If I ever hired a prep coach, it would just be to guide me through all the through all the drugs, because I'm not that well versed. I'm not. And most of these people that hire a guru, they don't take the time. They don't know how to use all these drugs. So they're putting. I understand it's irresponsible to put your health and your life basically in someone else's hands.
Yeah.
But you're a responsible adult, and you have this goal of, I want to compete in this contest, and I want to win. I'm going to give you, and I'll tell you what they charge. The top gurus charge around $5,000 for a prep. So 16-week prep, $5,000 is, I'm sure some charge more than that, but that's among the top guys. That's a pretty standard dollar amount, $5,000.
But Ron, on top of the steroid, this is a great show.
Yeah.
On top of the steroids, how much does it cost to do like a big?
I mean, steroids aren't that expensive normally,
True.
But when we get into contest prep, now you're into the things like Primabol and Anavar, Masteron, things that are pricier. GH is very pricey, as we've talked about before. Pharmaceutical grade GH. I'm not talking about the little crap from China. There we go, China again.
The blue caps are useless.
The blue caps, whatever. Yeah. So it's very expensive to be to pay for all the drugs. You need to get ready for let's just call it all bodybuilding, even though there's all these different divisions.
Yeah.
Bodybuilding. Yeah. And these people left to their own devices, they're going to do the drugs anyway. That's not even a question. I've gotten so many messages from people saying, "What do you think of this stack?" And I give most of these questions to Dr. T on his show. I tell him I'm not an expert. Don't ask me. But if you saw what some of these people were planning on doing or what they are doing, your eyes would roll back in your head. Some people are so ignorant. They confuse micrograms for milligrams and just things like that would kill you. Like, what do you think of this? I'm going to do, the many milligrams of insulin. I go, well, you die instantly for one thing, because insulin is IUs, not mLs. Oh. Just the mistakes that people would make, and they do make, are hurting. They stand a much more.
I see. So you're saying one day there's going to be a certification guru, like as a doctor. I mean, but so look, I agree. Okay, I agree.
I'm saying these people, they can't go to you. It's no doctor, no medical doctor ethically can guide someone through this cornucopia of drugs they need to get. So who do they have to turn to that knows these gurus, the top gurus, the names, which we're not going to mention the names, but the names that would be familiar to most people? These people are all very well versed. They've done their research. They've worked with clients for many years, thousands of clients with different drug stacks, and they know how these things react.
Wow.
And they're not really monitoring your health, but the better ones do. The better ones do make you do blood work before, just to make sure that you have a clean slate before.
But the blood work we know the blood work is useless and ridiculous. And I love guys saying that now. I did my blood work. Well, you're an idiot for doing it. I mean, I'm not saying don't do blood work. I'm saying, do you know what you're looking for? And when you're young, your blood work will look like garbage when you're on all that stuff. But when look, I mean, I've been doing this for so long, and I just want to be honest about everything, that it's a slippery slope. You can take all these drugs when you're young, but the effects are going to happen later, buddy. You're a rubber band. You're going to go up and down. The one day you pull this, guys are coming in, Ron. I'm fully freaking laid out. I mean, it's just unbelievable what's going on. A lot of guys coming in because COVID has put them into a position where they want to get off because there's no bodybuilding shows. They'll be great, the Tampa Pro and all this, right? But I mean, because guys they had a time to rethink. And guys are coming in, and you know what I'm doing? I'm getting a lot of men 25 to 35 off with HCG, and they're starting off with fertility. A lot of guys are coming in, hundreds coming off and saying, "Doc, I want to capture myself, but I have withdrawal symptoms. I can't stop taking testosterone. So, but I want to, and there was something like after World War II, the baby boom. Remember the baby boom?
Yeah, I think that was you might be the very last one. I forget what year.
I am. Yeah. 1964. You're a smart man. I looked it up. My mom said,
I'm Generation X.
My mom said about a year ago, she goes, that guy Ron Harris is a very bright man. I really like Ron Harris. Oh, I said, so you're smart. You're a smart guy. That last year of baby boom, me. So what was it? After periods of stress and social stress and isolation, people come out and they just want to reconnect and they want to have children. I'm seeing it in the bodybuilders that we have an overwhelming amount of men doing consults for wanting to get off completely, and they want to do it with, of course, my medical grade PCT, which we're not going to go into. Yeah, that could be another show, and literature, and then they want to start off with they want to have children, and I'm like, this is interesting. I'm not against children. I'm just like, why now? Something about my wife and my girlfriend and my partner. We just want to. So It's amazing, Ron. So the gurus, Ron.
Yeah.
I mean, we need gurus to what? We don't need gurus. I'm against gurus. Okay, but I respect you. And the gurus back in the day, they were not making money on it.
Right. Well, this is something I got to be very careful with my wording here. There's a lot of people competing now because we have so many different divisions for men and women. There's actually 11 different divisions now you can choose from. Whereas it was men's and women back in our days, it was men's and women's bodybuilding. That was it. But now there's 11 different divisions, a lot of new competitors, a lot of people that want to compete. You know, I don't like to say for the wrong reasons, because who am I to judge? But it's social media has really fed into this, where they want the attention. They want to say, I'm doing a contest, I'm going pro. You know, follow my journey every day on YouTube. Follow me, follow my posts, my Instagram stories. Here's my food. Here are my meals today. Here I am doing my cardio. And you know, they're very amped up to just do a show for the attention, the validation from other people.
Yeah.
And these are people that came to it, you know, in the old days. I venture to say most of the competitors came from an athletic background, things like football, wrestling. Yeah. We were athletes. I was a wrestler. We were used to hard work. Yeah. We were used to suffering. These people, they're not. They don't want to suffer. I know coaches. I know people coaches, I'm not going to name names, of course. They will give this DNP, which I consider it poison. They give it to people, especially female competitors, just so that the women can continue with their cheat meals, so they can have their double cheeseburger and cheesecake every Friday night, and, you know, pizza and this and that.
Ron, this is crazy.
Because these people, a lot of these competitors now, they don't have that work ethic. They don't want to suffer. They don't want to do more than a little bit of cardio. If you tell them no carbs for a week, and you're going to do 2 hours of cardio a day, as a coach, they'll say, you're fired. I'm going to find another coach who I don't have to do so much cardio. And I want my cheat meals.
I think what you're saying is that to achieve this level of physique, which is incredible, it's just amazing. You look at this body, and you're right there. You know, when I talk to regular people, have you ever seen a professional bodybuilder like in person? They go, I don't think so. You know, so you're there, you're in it, especially you. Like, you're behind the stage, you've been on the stage, your body's looked like that, and it still looks incredible, and that hardness and that. So what you're saying is, to achieve that level with or without great genetics. With the great genetics, it just looks more breathtaking.
Yeah.
So to do that, it's a cornucopia of drugs, which is like, oh, I'm cringing, but I agree, it is true. And no person, unless it's the guru himself, is going to be able to really know across the span of all the. So when you, like, I've seen over 5,000 men on steroids. I have a gestalt. I know it. I can feel it. I have my history, the way I take a medical history. It's just like, I do 3 a day right now. 3 a day.
Wow.
3 a day. Fully cranked.
Goodness
fully
gracious.
Cranked. And I could do 5 a day if I wanted to, but I do 2 or 3 a day. God, you know, it's awesome. But I have other guys I got to take care of. I'm trying to get my book. We're trying to train doctors. We're busy. We're cranking. But I have a gut for it. And those guys have a gut for it. And that because they've experienced thousands of the drugs, from Clen to steroids, to oral steroids, intermuscular, insulin, growth, diuretics, Cytomel. Because I'm taking the histories of what these guys are doing. Obviously, so I see the damage, though. They're damaged, Ron.
Yeah.
Okay. They do have to be, they're necessary to produce the bodies. Is it right? Is it not right? Is it going to happen? That's between me and you and the universe. Yeah. But they're destroying. You don't think there's side effects of these people?
Oh, absolutely. I believe there is great long-term damage being done to these competitors, but the competitors, they know, you know, deep in their hearts of hearts, they know they're taking a gamble. They know they are. There's nobody who's pumping all these different drugs and thinking,
but Ron, that's where I know. No. That's where, so intuitively, that's where I have an ethical problem, where the guru, but that man who's doing it, women too, that person that's doing it is sick. I'm sorry. They're obsessive. They're taking drugs. They're doing something that's not going to be proper and healthy. It's an obsession, and it's a bias more. Okay. It is. It's not normal. my mountain biking off of cliffs is not normal. Okay. Now, seriously though, I do, I have some NASCAR drivers. Okay, no, they're not pro bodybuilders, but everyone likes adrenaline, or at least men, right? A lot of people, women too. Women like it too, and that's not risky, Doc. That's not fucking risky.
200 miles an hour, and the car next to you is about that far apart. Yeah.
Red Bull Rampage, where there's mountain bikes on top of skinny mountains like this. You fall off in Chile and in Nevada. Okay, it's adrenaline. The guys, the backflip guys, and all this and everything. So people love it. It's never going to end. It's an edge of incredible circus where people can fall and break their backs and necks. We love it. It's spread in circus. But the guru literally wakes up in the morning knowing now you don't become a guru overnight. You become a guru with thousands of patients. They're patients, thousands of people. They're putting together. They're very bright. They're not idiots. They're very, and they could be outstanding scientists and physicians. They could be.
Yeah.
And some of them act like they are, and that's pathetic. And I'll punch them in the teeth because they didn't get through med school.
What did you say in the other video? They did 1 year med school?
They're a fucking joke. Okay, they didn't go. Forget med school. Med school is one part of it. Go through residency training the way I did, 30-hour shifts in inner cities in New York and Hartford, Connecticut, and taking care of people. And then I'm depressed. You're depressed. There's no money, 40 grand a year for years and years and years. And you're doing it because you're a healer and you're in the trenches. That a lot of that's gone, but it's still there. And now look at COVID. These people go to hospitals to get, these people can get sick. Those are the heroes. We're not going to go into the politics. But back to the guru. This guru is flashing around fucking Lamborghinis. Boom, 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 boom. You're a scumbag.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Sorry, you're a scumbag.
Well, riddle me this.
No, but Ron. What last thing? I'm sorry, Ron.
No,
Ron. They have seen. They've gotten the calls from the guy with the heart attack, the atrial fibrillation, the stroke. Rare as it may be. They've gotten the call. Shit, that guy popped into AFib. Oh, I don't want to hear about that. Go away. They know it. And then they wake up the next fucking day or a few hours later and they give the same program to the next guy to make that body when they know. And there are gurus that tap out and they say, I don't want to be a guru. I have a lot of ex-gurus, like ex-cons. They come to me and they go, Doc, I do apologize. My heart is heavy for what I've done. Anyone who's listening to this and watching this, I'm not doing this for fucking money, Ron. This is, especially this show. I appreciate you, though.
Clearly. But I'm going to go back to it again. These competitors, they're going to use the drugs anyway. I'm sure there are circumstances where some gurus, and let's be real, they handle the diets too. I don't want to make it sound like they're purely for drugs. They do handle the nutrition side, tell them how much cardio to do, which that's not rocket science, guys. It's really not. Because I did all that on my own. I got in great shape without a coach. I know how to eat and I can do cardio. But the point is, they're going to use these drugs anyway because, especially with the internet, they're all aware of what drugs are being used at the level they're competing at to achieve this look, which, let's be real, this is an almost impossible look to achieve. It's maximum muscle mass with absolutely minimum body fat, minimum subcutaneous water. It's an almost impossible look to achieve, and it's only able to be attained with all these different drugs, the steroids, the diuretics, the GH, the Clen, the thyroid meds. Ow. I really do feel that gurus probably help some people from making a lot of crazy mistakes, and in other cases, I'm sure there are gurus who advocate or recommend higher doses, knowing that it's necessary to give this look, and also knowing at the same time it's probably putting these people at serious risk for major problems.
But that's all I'm saying. And Ron, some people take just a little bit of Cytomel and they go into AFib, one little pill. I mean, like what? I mean, one cycle, or it's all gambling in Vegas numbers. Some guys just take some diuretics and their kidneys get damaged because they had some underlying kidney damage ready to come out and they brought it to the surface. And the steroid, but Ron, we're talking about, grams of gear. And these are just because how do they tolerate it? Because they're young and they're super healthy and they're super strong and healthy. And then, but it's like I don't know. No, Ron, I understand what you're saying. The gurus are there and they have the knowledge. I mean, they're like physicians.
Well, I mean, I'm very certain
they're
when
drugs.
I say these guys, these coaches, gurus, they know, prep coaches, they know far more about all these drugs and how they're used to achieve these different looks. Than
I couldn't
pretty much any medical doctor.
I couldn't do. I mean, I pick up the pieces. I know the pathophysiology, and then I pick up the pieces for the heart, the kidney, the brain, and I do the best I. And I don't always pick up all the pieces, Ron. There's stuff. I'm so busy now. I'm talking to guys, and sometimes I'm finding myself say more and more. Brother, I'm so sorry. We can't. And this is after I've coordinated care with other doctors. I coordinate care. Today I had to call a psychiatrist for a man. People have depression, Ron. Yeah. People have bipolar. It's a tough time. And then you add these drugs onto a man that has underlying depression.
Yeah.
Wow. So I work and try to reverse. I soften the fall. I give protective medicines, all my secret medicines, which are not secrets. And I give, and my office works, my nurse, my managers, we work, we coordinate 24/7, we help. And then sometimes I say, brother, I'm so sorry, but this is what we have now. We have now the damage. We have to move forward. I'm really sorry to say that. Ron, and then these men are in depression. God, Doc, if I could only go back. So don't you understand? I have to say this. Oh, yeah. I have to be this way.
And, I'm not saying what the gurus do is morally correct. They're filling a need.
Yeah.
Of large amounts of competitors that want guidance with the chemical side. And these guys have the knowledge. They know how these things are used.
I wonder if 100 years from now or 10 years from now, like they're going to be some legal guru association where it's like the test can be 500. The Cytomel can only be like 30 a day, 10 3 times a day. Like the Clen can only be,
I'm sure there are gurus, like I said, that push very high amounts on people. Like we've talked before about some guy who was having guys do 8 Anadrol 50s a day. Maybe you figured out who it is by now. I don't know. But I know that's very irresponsible. That's reckless. But I would hope that there are other gurus, prep coaches that talk people down from the ledge. Like people have come to me and asked me, what do you think of this? I say, I'm not a doctor, but you don't need a gram of Tren a week on top of a gram of test. And this is what you're proposing is ridiculous, especially, you're like 100, you compete at like 170 pounds. There's no way in the world you need all these high doses. I would cut those at least in half, but like I said, I'm not an expert. Don't call
me. It's incredible though, Ron, but it's feeding into such a drug. You see, and people look at you, right? And I'm not, this is a compliment, but it's weird. They look at you and they go, look at Ron, man. He's done it. He's still living the dream. You're not on stage, but I don't know if you're planning on doing that, but you look great. You're living the dream. You're an active bodybuilder. You say openly that you use some of these compounds. Yeah. I pray to God, but you're also taking care of your heart health, and you're walking. So look at Ron Harris. You're 50, right? You're 49. How old are you?
I'll be 51 in September, doctor.
I'm so sorry. You're 51.
No, I'm 50 now. I'm still 50 for now.
So look at this, like 50-year-old guy, and your heart's stable. You've been lucky, Ron. You've been quite lucky. You have good. The Lord and the universe has been quite good to you. I have guys that there are people that have leukemia as children. Are they unlucky? Of course. Yeah. But that's so when you talk to those people that have these horrible conditions, pancreatic cancer, brain cancer, motor vehicle accidents, severe traumas, and then they see a healthy person who can just feel good and exercise, and I'm just trying to bring that other alternative. You're taking a beautiful, healthy body. I did it too, Ron. Yeah. I did it too. I'm not a hypocrite. And obviously, this is my life now, being the anabolic doc. I love the guys that do the stuff. I don't like the gurus because I just have a problem with them.
Yeah,
Because they're fucking showy, Lambo driving scumbags that are showy. And if you're telling guys to take all these drugs when you know it's going to hurt them, you're not a doctor. You're hiding behind that, so you can't get sued or arrested. But what if that changes? I don't want cops. I love cops. Love them. You see what I got on, buddy.
Ah, right on.
So, yeah. Oh, yeah. And these are not cops. These are warrior guys, because I take care of a lot of guys with PTSD. And these are great men, and no women. I don't take care of women, but they're women too. And you know what, Ron? This has to be openly. This is what we do. We're open. What a great platform. We're opening it, but you and I are 50-something-year-old men with children, and your son is healthy and handsome, and he looks like he's lean and mean, and he's not doing steroids, it looks like, and that's a beautiful. And your daughter's gorgeous, and your wife. You're lucky. You're lucky.
It's my daughter's 4th wedding anniversary today, believe it or not.
Wow. But Ron, you are, and I don't want to be this weirdo, but it's like, and I know I mean, I guess the old days of just give me a guy who just wants to bench and just be strong and just, I mean, is that right? If he takes one Anadrol or one D-ball or one shot at a Succinon 250, yeah. I'm not saying it's right, and I don't want him to do it, but when it's the bodybuilding, Ron, is just so extreme.
It is. I mean, I pine for the old days. I wish I'd been born. Not that I'd want to be like 80 years old right now, but I kind of wish I'd been able to be around in that golden age when they had some D-ball, some Primobolins. It was like a hand. You could count all the drugs people used on one hand back in those days. And now it's a laundry list. It's hard to keep up. It's very hard for me to keep up. I'm not even current.
But it's going to get run. It's going to get worse. It's going to keep going.
Yeah. I mean, SARMs now got in the picture, and there's probably drugs being used I'm not even aware of yet. Maybe someone will start. I'll be overhearing conversation at the Tampa Pro. And go, oh, geez, wow, what the hell is that? What the hell are they talking about now?
Well, that's designer steroids. I mean, I hear some stuff, and I'm not going to say anything because I can't back it up with some of these new drugs. But you see my video on Ment. The guy he was infertile, and he was on Ment and Tren, and he got fertile, and it's a mess.
Yeah. So that's because the drug situation is so complex now. There's very few people that are going to take the time and the effort to learn about all that on their own. So if they can just fork over their money willingly to a coach or guru.
So there it is.
What do I need for my show, and how much do I need, and when should I take it? And just tell me what to do.
And the funny thing, Ron, in the end of the day, to summary this thing, the gurus are there, and it's interesting. If you have an association of regulatory gurus? No, because if it's one Anadrol or one, and Dr. T said that. He said ethically, as physicians, we can't. We're openly working on it. Guys get like, is Dr. T right? Is Dr. O'Connor the antibiotic? Are these guys hypocrites or what? No. We understand they're being used, and we both. I think it's George used. I mean, we've had some experience with these drugs, and we've had some experience with the side effects and things. And here we are. So we're in the trenches, but we're seeing something that let's regulate gurus. I could see Arnold or someone coming out. Let's try to really regulate. And are we going to have regulatory gurus where there's going to be a limit to the diuretic, a limit to the cytomel, this is crazy. So it's either full bore, unregulated, just craziness and just unregulated, just wildness. Or
clarify this for the viewers, because I don't think everyone really understands this, but it is a crime to recommend drugs, to tell people how to use drugs unless you're a medical doctor. Is that correct?
Ron, 1990 federal law says if you are encouraging someone, these are not doctors, if you're caught encouraging someone to do these illicit drugs, anabolic androgenic agents, it's a felony. They're obviously not enforcing that.
No, obviously.
But and I don't want people to go to jail. I don't. Right. I love the guys that are using steroids. I like them. This is political. Everything's political. I like these. These guys are awesome, man.
Yeah.
You know, but again, the powerlifting, give me a guy who just wants to be big and strong and bench big, bench squat, deadlift big, and have a beer afterwards and just chill, you know. But in the bodybuilders, I see them and stuff, but the extreme stuff, Ron, is just so extreme, and it's feeding into a sickness of body dysmorphia for so many of these men. And they're young. Ron, 15-year-old boys coming in, 15, I don't touch them. I send them to pediatric endocrinology.
Wow.
I have 15-year-old guys that's 13 to 15. Now he's 15, and he's like very depressed, Ron.
He was on steroids at 13?
All SARMs.
Okay, wow. Gee, mommy and daddy should have kept a closer eye on that kid. Wow.
Yeah, but I don't know if they can, because these kids are brilliant and they're on the internet, and he's a good kid. You know, he's just a sharp dude.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking.
When
I hear about teenagers on steroids, especially the younger ones, like 14, 15, 16, I'm like, what the? That is, to me, that's insane.
Well, but Ron, there's gurus that will give it to the kids.
There are, and they have those gurus. Anybody who's coaching a young kid to use steroids, even if he's keeping him from doing something even dumber than what the guru would have him doing, if he's got him down from 2 grams of tren a week down to 1, it's still incredibly irresponsible and immoral to have a young teenager on drugs. To me,
and all we can do, Ron, because it's never going to be regulated, because ethically you can't even acknowledge that even one pill should be correct. So it's never going to be regulated. So it's always going to be open like this until we get into full Wild West 100 years from now, where you have, like out of like one of Arnold's movie, right, with a planet, from Mars, and it's like, and then that's going to be just the best drug, and then protection, harm reduction, right? I do harm reduction. We're doing some research on harm reduction. So it's like, kind of throwing your body in front of someone. It's like methadone. You take the drug, you take heroin, you give Suboxone, bad examples, but trying to soften the fall and harm reduction to love that person and not scold that person. Get out of here. That doctors, we're teaching them, don't do that, because it's going to get worse. This is why the show is so relevant. And of course, we're talkers. We're me and you. We're talking about, and we get along. I respect you very much, for the truth is that level, that's what's happening. Yeah. But we do agree, there's a limit to the kids and there's a limit to the drugs. And then when someone just gets hurt, even on a little bit of steroids, what was that? Is that just like bad luck? And is that okay?
Yeah. I mean, I think most of us wish the steroids were never invented. They didn't exist. I wish it was just all natural bodybuilding, honestly, because I don't know any bodybuilder that uses a lot of drugs that wants to use a lot of drugs. They do it because they have to, because the other guys are doing it, and they just got to keep up with the Joneses. And
it's incredible.
They'd rather not. Believe me, most of these guys, they're not comfortable using these drugs. They don't want to take these chances, but
I know. I agree. I totally agree. It is interesting. We talk about the 500-pound gorilla in the room, or the elephant in the room, or whatever animal in the room, or big man in the room. I one time did one of the articles for you guys. Can we talk about the 242-pound man in DMV in the room? You're sitting. Some lady was in DMV. I talked to some lady. She was staring at this 200. He was this big stare, and some guy prodded her. Hey, lady, move up. And she was just staring at this. That was it. And I said, I got to do an article. We talk about the 242-pound man at DMV in the room. He's sitting there just, and it's just like, now it's changed. Now people are talking about it. And, I guess we have to go through steroid acceptance first, that it's being accepted, it being used. And then we have to get education is everything. Keeping young guys off steroids, don't do it. Like you said, be a mountain biker, be a skateboarder, soccer. Don't come, Ron, don't you agree? Don't come into this realm if you're not willing, because if you're or stay natty and enjoy that.
Right. Yeah.
I hope that movie from Generation Iron is going to be good, I'm going to watch it, not just because I'm in it. Because I mean, I wasn't going to watch it. Then the guy goes, "Doc, I'm like, I'm gonna watch. I always watch the movies. They do a beautiful job on the cinematography."
Oh, dude, did you know Ronnie Coleman has never seen his movie? Ronnie Coleman, the King. He's never seen it.
I understand. It's weird though to watch because it's like you get nervous and it's like Ronnie's. I don't think really a narcissistic guy.
Oh, not at all. Not at all.
No.
I probably would have watched mine like 1,000 times by now, but he hasn't seen it. Being real and being honest. But yeah, that's it, Doc. That was a good discussion. We're not
Brian.
In the end. Yeah, they're practicing medicine without a license.
We're still friends.
So, still respect Victor the poodle. Yeah, he's a good dog. It is what it is. I do feel that there is a place for them, just because these people, they're going to use the drugs, and most of them are too lazy or just not knowledgeable enough to learn how to use them the ways that they need to be used, when to take them, how much to take them, things like that. So these guys, yeah, they're making money, and they're advising people to do things that are going to hurt them in the long term. But these people coming to them, the clients, they're all big boys and girls. They know they're taking a chance.
It's true. It is true. We're bringing awareness to this.
Right. All right. Well, Doctor, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it very much. I want to encourage everyone to check out the doctor's YouTube channel, Anabolic Doc YouTube. Great videos. They have timestamps, and they're very well organized, and not like this where we just blab on and on. Go to the website, testosteronology.com. You can find out all about this new branch of medicine that Dr. O'Connor has pioneered. You can also, there's a contact there. If you want to get a consultation, it's all telemedicine now. You can be in Dubai, you can be in Amsterdam, you can be in Pretoria, South Africa, and still get an appointment with a good doctor. So yeah, and you're doing great work, Doctor. Please continue. The world needs more testosteronologists, and luckily you're training them as we speak. Yes.
We're working on that.
Thanks for your time. Thanks everybody for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you next time.